Welcome to this masterclass, how to make movement training for your horse fun and easy. When you want to get the results in training your horse, you need to find ways to make it motivating so that you can find the energy to keep going until you get the results. I'm going to share 5 keys to success that will help you accomplish your goal and make consistent exercise much easier. What brought you here today? What is the struggle that you would like to resolve for yourself and for your horse? No matter what your desired outcome in training your horse is, you and your horse need to become better at what it is that you are doing right now. Especially if your horse is non-ridden or you can't ride him right now. You and your horse need to step out of your comfort zone or expand your comfort zone so that movement training becomes a happy part of your life. The key here is to find a way to make it fun and easy for you and for your horse, and then it becomes very motivating and you can stay consistent and on course with your goal. We have to realize that all our goals lay outside our comfort zone and probably also outside your horse's comfort zone at the moment. When you have a horse that is overweight or is reluctant to move, exercising is hard right now, which means you have to push your horse to step outside what's easy and entice him to do something a bit more challenging. And that can be a challenge in itself, to expand his comfort zone. Pushing your horse out of it often doesn't work. Your horse gets grumpy. And that's why I like to suggest to, instead of pushing your horse outside his comfort zone, enticing him to expand his comfort zone by making exercising fun, exciting, and the highlight of his day so that he will be looking forward to working with you. Everything I share with you today is based on my own experiences and the experiences of my clients. Let's dive into it. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Sandra Poppema and I started using positive reinforcement horse training in 1998 when I was a dressage instructor in the Netherlands. In 2009, I got my first wild horse, Kira, which I tamed in 3 weeks with clicker training. She put me on the path of developing a clear and easy clicker way training teaching method to help fellow horse people to train their own horses. And today I offer an easy, fun way to exercise your horse at liberty that will help you bond with your horse. And when you have questions, or questions pop into your head listening to this masterclass, please use the chat, because when you write them down right away, you can take them off of your mind, and at the end I will be answering all questions. Learning happens effortlessly when we're having fun. So ask yourself this: how do you recognize if something is hard or maybe aversive for your horse? Pay attention next time. Is your horse reluctant? Maybe he's slowing down on his way to the arena. You know he's not fond of going to the arena, but you don't know what to do about it. You have the feeling that exercising is hard for your horse. When he's trotting, he easily falls back to a walk, and maybe even in a walk he's slowing down, and he would be stopping if you would let him. Your horse trots just fine in the pasture with his friends, but in the arena, his trot is often sluggish. Your horse lifts his head up or moves his head away when you want to halter or bridle him. Even when it's just a little head movement, pay attention to these signs. These are all signs your horse doesn't enjoy what you're asking, or he's already anticipating on what you're going to ask from him. Pay attention to these signs because when you change the root cause of these signals, radical changes happen. These communication signals are symptoms of your horse not having fun. And by recognizing these signs, you're already ahead of most of all horse people. What your horse thinks matters. Exercising your horse is more fun when he enjoys it too. Often horse owners tells me that their horses get bored in exercising, and I wondered if they get bored with it themselves because they don't see results yet, and therefore they are not motivating to keep doing whatever they are doing. And when horses are trained with positive reinforcement and it's done correctly, horses won't get bored. They love learning and the little puzzles it presents to them every day. Here's another symptom. Many horse people say they don't have time to exercise their horse. I know this is not true. I know that all of you would do anything the moment your horse will get sick. Then there is time to take care of your horse. I believe not having time to exercise your horse is just another symptom. I've worked with many horse owners, and once they know what to do, how to do it, and when to do it, it's easy to make a schedule and stick with it. Time struggles evaporate when there's clarity, when exercising their horses becomes something they enjoy. I didn't have time to exercise my overweight horse, Kira, until she got laminitis. Then I had 4 hours a day. In hindsight, I realized that I didn't have the time because I simply didn't know what to do. I didn't have a plan to get my fat horse fit. I started and then I stopped. I didn't see results. And now I know that overweight horses don't get fit overnight. I didn't realize that that was kind of my expectation. It takes time. And often we have to look at the other 2 major factors that make them overweight too. Once you understand it will take time to make changes and you know what to do, it becomes much easier. Believe me, this is what Kira looked like in July and then in October after I started making changes. Before that, I couldn't get these results. And when you don't know where to start and you just start without having a plan, you will fall off the wagon. It happened to me, it happens to everybody. And it happens pretty quickly. Why? Because you can't measure the results without having a training plan. You can't measure efforts without a schedule. And you can't accomplish anything without having set a goal. When you don't see results, it's pretty demotivating. Maybe now you're wondering how you can stick with your plan until you get results and accomplish your goal. Today I'm sharing 5 keys to success to make exercising your horse fun and easy. I will show you a fun at liberty exercise, the HippoLogic rectangle, that is easy for your horse and is a great alternative for lunging. And when something is easy and fun, it's also easy to keep doing it. Only when you exercise your horse consistently, you get results. And results are motivating. In order to get results, we have to learn how we can measure our results. Here are 3 techniques that you can use to keep track and see if you're doing the right things. Measuring the fitness in your horse, no matter how small. How many steps or minutes can your horse walk before he will slow down to a halt if you don't do anything? How long can he trot or canter? And does your horse offer trot at all right now? Measure your horse's weight if weight loss is a goal for your horse. Use a measuring tape once a week, or if you can, a scale once a month to keep track of the weight. Make photos what your horse looked like every week. In the beginning, you won't see it on the outside, but eventually you will. Maybe you're here today because your vet or your farrier told you it's time to start exercising your horse. You started lunging or round penning your horse, but your horse got angry. You stopped because it was a huge struggle, and now you're at the end of the rope. You still have an overweight or out of shape horse. You tried everything, nothing worked. You're desperate and maybe even toying with the idea to sell your horse because you obviously don't know how to take care of him. That's what I thought about myself. And I'm here to tell you there's hope. You need to approach it from a slightly different angle so that you can see the light again. What you really want is a healthy forward horse. A horse that is happy to see you and is looking forward to his daily exercises with you. When your horse is fit and healthy, movement is enjoyable and it would be easy for him. When your horse is in shape, you can stop worrying about his health or laminitis. You can start to relax and enjoy your horse more. Let's start with a story. This is my personal journey with Kira, and I will think you will recognize some elements of it. I got Kira when she was 11 months old. She was born in a nature reserve and she was a wild horse and afraid of everything human. After I tamed her, she would go out in the field with the other horses. It was on a dairy farm. Little did I know about the amount of protein and sugar levels of production pastures. Grasses that have been developed to increase milk production in cows. Not suitable for horses, a species that evolved on the steppe with low nutritious grass that contains a lot of fiber. Kira became chubby and I started and stopped many times with an exercise regime over the years. I never seemed to accomplish my goal, a fit horse that had a healthy weight. Everything that wasn't lunging or round penning, I tried. And then I also tried at liberty exercising, hand walking and dressage on the long rein. After I started her under saddle, I added riding to her exercise regimen. And I always stopped because I didn't see results. I had a hard time using traditional methods based on negative reinforcement because Kira didn't respond well to aversives. She was the horse that really pushed me on the way to positive reinforcement. She made it clear that she didn't want to be forced. And since bonding with my horse is super important to me, I wanted to find ways to train her without coercion. And then the inevitable happened. When she was 8 years old, she was very overweight and one day she got laminitis. It was a nightmare come true. All those years that I was trying to avoid what now finally happened. I felt super guilty about it and I felt as if I hadn't done enough to prevent this from happening. And when I look back, I realized that we don't know what we don't know. I thought I knew so much. But I didn't know what I was missing, what kept me from getting results. Now I do, and that's why I want to share it with horse people like you, so you have more tools and knowledge to help you prevent this or solve it now and in the future. The vet bills and other bills quickly accumulated. I bought special boots for Kira with laminitis gel inlays to make her more comfortable. I changed her diet. I started to soak her hay, therefore I had to buy hay nets and tubs to soak the hay in, and I also had to change her habitat. She went from group housing in a field with a round bill that she could nibble on 18 hours a day to solitary confinement so I could manage her calorie intake. This was not only all very expensive, it was also very, very time consuming. I was shifting from I don't have time to exercise my horse to spending 3 to 4 hours at the barn every day for weeks, taking care of her, exercising her, soaking hay, dealing with all kinds of new problems that arose. Kira started to eat wood and ate a hole in her shelter in one afternoon. She dug trenches with her pacing. I had to repair the shelter and fix the footing in the paddock. She was clearly very stressed and also in a lot of pain. I worried sick. And I spent time researching on the internet about enrichment to keep her stress-free so she would heal faster. I dove into equine nutrition and bought supplements. I researched laminitis. I did everything I could to help her recover as fast as possible. And all this happened because I had failed to keep her weight in check. But I didn't know what I do know now. And besides nutrition and management, exercising is key to recovery and preventing laminitis and keep her EMS in check. And here's what I learned and what I want to share with you, because this is so important. I tried the round penning and lunging advice that I got from my vet, and Kira gave me this feedback, which quickly made me realize that if I would stick to traditional training methods and coercion, I would ruin that relationship that I so carefully had built with her over the past 7 years, because she went from feral filly to very reliable, safe and kind, and I did not want to jeopardize that relationship. So I found myself in a pickle. I tried to exercise her with positive reinforcement, and it had not yet led me to results. Traditional training would also not lead to results because I was not willing to push her through with it. So all doors were closed, it seemed, and I had to find a new way. And then I decided to find a way, no matter what, to exercise my horse with positive reinforcement. That was my pivoting moment. Without that clear vision, I wouldn't be here where I am now, which is helping other horse people get the results with their horses in a way that is fun and easy for the horse. This is what happened. Since Kira could only walk, I would say she could barely walk, even with boots on, I had to start there. I had to start to hand walk her, using choices and positive reinforcement to strengthen her choice to move. Literally, each step forward was rewarded at first. When she stopped, I just waited until she decided to do another step. I did not ask her, I did not tug her on her lead rope. I waited and waited until she did a step. And then, when she did that, yay! I clicked and rewarded with my voice and valuable food rewards. Let me explain what that meant. Our daily 20-minute walk that I had scheduled with standing still every other step, it meant that we were standing still for about 15 minutes out of that 20-minute walk. We barely made it to the road the first day, but I kept at it. Every step was reinforced with a click and a food reward, because even an overweight horse has to eat. So I took the rewards out of her daily rations, so I didn't have to offer her empty calories or unhealthy treats, because she was on a diet and she was already food motivated. So it was no problem using soaked beet pulp as training appetitives. And I have more alternatives that you can use for overweight horses. So this is my first key to success. Start where your horse is at, even if that means that you have to start with a 20-minute hand walk like I did. The second key to success is to make it fun for your horse. Make it rewarding. I made it fun by giving Kira choices. She was allowed to choose the pace, which was very slow at first. But that only lasted a few days. I think the end of the first week, I could get her until the corner of the road, which was a few hundred meters. So because I started where she was at, I could see very quickly results fast, because I just made my my goals a little bit smaller, my criteria. When you give your horse choices, it puts your horse in control, which is also very high value for your horses. I also made our daily walk fun by taking her out. I tried hand walking in the arena, but she was absolutely not motivated there and she didn't like it there. By taking her on the road, That meant she could explore a bit more and see new things, which she liked, and that also ties into their natural behavior. Of course, using positive reinforcement instead of coercion added to the fun element, and I was listening to her. By listening and observing her, I got loads and loads of feedback. I learned lots about what she liked and disliked, even though I've already had her for 7 years. I realized that horses appreciate it very much if we listen to them. The way we show them we listen is to respond to their messages, to their behaviors. When Kira was in pain or she was worried about something she heard, smelled or saw on the road and stopped walking, I gave her that break. She was allowed to pause until the pain faded or until she decided that whatever she was noticing was not dangerous. And by doing this over and over, she learned that I was doing my best to understand her and to support her. And this made our bond even stronger. At the end of our week, our 20-minute walk was actually almost all walking. By exercising her consistently and having a clear step-by-step training plan, I made progress quickly. And that's the third key to success I would like to share with you. Making exercise easy for your horse. Start where your horse is at, even if that's just a 5 or 10 or 20-minute hard hand walk, even if that means that your horse stopping 35 times or more. The secret is consistency, and consistency will make training easier. I hand walked Kira every day for the first couple of weeks, which meant we developed a routine. First I soaked her hay, then I cleaned her paddock, I groomed her, and we went out for a daily walk. This routine helped Kira to anticipate on her daily exercise. It was very predictable, and this really supported the exercise because she learned quickly that she wouldn't have to do much. She wouldn't get exhausted. And she also learned quickly that I was listening and respecting her boundaries. After all, their only way to tell us things is through their body language. And when she stopped because of, it doesn't even matter because horses always have a good reason, she learned that she was allowed to. She learned quickly that I listened and there were no repercussions for stopping or saying no to me. This put her very much in control, and it really builds trust in the horse-human relationship if you do this. When you don't start where your horse is at and you ask too much too soon, it will make exercising aversive very quickly. And when your horse is not having fun, you don't have fun. Horses will anticipate on their daily exercise by not letting you catch them in the field or slowing down on their way to the arena. They know what's coming and they don't like it. And when you don't start where your horse is at physically, you easily over-ask and it will become aversive. And it's much easier for you if you have your horse on your side. If you have to fight him, it will suck the pleasure out of your daily exercises very quickly. Consistency will lead to success. And it takes time. This is 1 year of consistent training. I believe that one of the reasons I never was successful at exercising Kira before is just this. I wanted too much, too quickly, and I didn't make it fun and easy for my horse. It became aversive, and on a subconscious level, I could feel her struggle. Therefore, I was not consistent and never accomplished any of my goals. I didn't even have a goal, to be honest. I haven't written a goal down. I was just very vague. I want her fit. So I was never consistent and didn't accomplish any of the goals. A fit horse that loves to exercise. Until I did what I did. I started where Kira was at, and I never would have thought that a short hand walk consistently would be the beginning of such a successful accomplishment. Success key number 4 is making a step-by-step shaping plan that will help you from where you are at to your goal. A shaping plan describes how you can train every step on the way to your goal. You won't skip steps, and it will help you raise your criteria consistently so you don't get stuck and stay stuck at some point. After Kira's laminitis was healed, she clearly started to lose weight and she felt so much better. Since she was diagnosed with equine metabolic syndrome, I knew I needed to make some drastic changes in her life to prevent her from getting another bout of laminitis. Dividing your goal into smaller steps that makes it fun and easy for your horse to learn is a shaping plan, and I just applied that to her life as well. Once she recovered, I started to introduce other ways of exercising. I just had to figure out a way to exercise her in trot and canter, because the reverse round pen that I used had its limitations. I quickly discovered that, first of all, I was the bottleneck for speed if I was using a moving target for Kira to follow. Kira also still hated circles, and I get it, because circles are really hard on the horse's body. They are very advanced exercises. So I started to use a better shape, a rectangle, because on the long sides it was way easier to entice Kira to a trot with positive reinforcement, because straight lines are very easy and natural. With just 4 cones, I also didn't need a lot of equipment. It's a super quick setup and a cleanup, and you can start with whatever you have available. If it's buckets, you can even start with 4 buckets. When you have your training laid out in clear steps, it makes exercising truly easy and fun, and it helps us to stick with it until we get our desired results. And when you have a written shaping plan, you also can measure the progress in every training. Can I check this point off or not? Over time, you will see all the check marks, and that's how you measure your progress, even when you don't see physical weight loss just yet. The final key to success is to prioritize exercise. When you decide that exercising your horse is the most important task, you eliminate all banter in your head. You know, the voices that are always telling you, let's start tomorrow. Oh, it's raining today. Let's do it tomorrow. And when you quiet those voices, because you already made that decision to walk your horse 20 minutes or 30 minutes every day, you soon discover that things that you have never experienced before. That consistency is actually a superpower. Even when you start with 10 minutes a day, it will open doors that you can't see yet. The consistency is so important. Consistency is key. Knowing you're making progress towards the health of your horse and seeing the proof by looking at your horse is super motivating. Here's a video of what you can do with the HippoLogic rectangle. Of course, Kira and I did not start with this. What you're looking at in this short video is a result of consistent step-by-step training. Let's have a look about what this exercise looks like. So this is a really good way of exercising your horse, but you can also work on other behaviors like bending. You can work on posture in movement training. You can do trot, canter, all kinds of things. Asking for head lowering in movement. And all these behaviors you can put on cue. I taught her to stop square, which is also a behavior that you can train. She has to stick with me, and then when she is standing relaxed, then I can cue her to do the next thing. So as you can see, it's a very roomy setup. Again, this is a result of consistent training. This is not where you start at the first few sessions. So here's a video of Fionn. I don't have an arena at the moment, and you don't have one because you have those 4 cones that you can use to send your horse around. So we are much further with Fionn already. This is last year's video, but this was a video that I made especially for today. And this is one of the things that you can see. Criteria are slowly raised, like step by step, and you divide sending your horse around 4 cones into different steps, so that when you can put those steps together, you get to send your horse around 4 cones. As you can see, I can just stand in the middle. I don't have to use a moving target. I can be lazy. I can be just standing there, and I'm not the bottleneck for speed anymore. You can do so many things, and it's really a fun alternative for lunging. Yeah, Fionn really enjoys this exercise. I hope you are inspired today and implement these 5 keys to success in your horse's exercise program. And if you're worried that you can't do this by yourself because you don't have the knowledge to write your own shaping plans, or when you've fallen off the exercise wagon so many times that you're reluctant to start again, afraid of failure, I get it. Or you just don't know where to start, I offer these 5 keys to success in my introduction at Liberty using the HippoLogic rectangle. And this is a 4-week online program. We start where your horse is at. We start at the beginning of At Liberty. We start easy. We start with straight lines in walk. We make it fun by training your horse with positive reinforcement so that your horse is motivated to do his best because there is something in it for him. You get what you want, forward movement, a happy and engaged horse, and your horse gets something in return. Win-win. You work towards a clear goal, teaching your horse the HippoLogic rectangle. You can send your horse around 4 cones at Liberty, clockwise and counterclockwise. And we make it easy. I provide you with a weekly step-by-step shaping plan that is super easy to follow. I've written each step down for you and make all steps easy for your horse to understand. And we make training consistent. For 4 weeks, you get support and feedback on your training, knowing you will receive the next shaping plan on Friday that will help you stay on track and follow through with your training. If you want more support after that, there's a follow-up program that you can join. And before we go to the Q&A, there's something very important that I also would like to share with you. Another important lesson I learned in my journey to recovering Kira is that there are tipping points. What is hard gets easy. That's the tipping point. But until it gets easy, it is hard. But once you realize that everything that is hard in the beginning will become easier, it makes it really more motivating to keep at it. So here are some examples that you might recognize from your own training. Maybe your horse is reluctant to move at first, But once he realizes that you are listening to his feedback and that you start where he is at, physically and mentally, then you can make it easy and fun. And you will start enjoying your time together in your exercise training. Another tipping point is when your horse starts to understand what he's supposed to do in the HippoLogic rectangle. He will anticipate, he will start to offer behavior, he will start to offer forward movement. He will be fine with moving away from you, something clicker trained horses don't like to do because they love you and they want to stay with you. So sending your horse away becomes something that he will offer freely. The third tipping point is when exercise is aversive, it can become the opposite once your horse can keep a steady pace for a certain amount of time. That's when his body starts to make endorphins. These feel-good hormones will help your horse enjoy his daily exercises. You will notice that after his warm-up, he will offer forward movement and at a way more active pace. This is where the stamina is built, and once you recognize this, you can use this to your advantage in exercise training. For instance, I really took the time to notice it and make notes and track this. I discovered that Kira needed between 7 and 10 minutes to warm up. When I asked her to trot before she was warmed up, she wouldn't do it when I cued her. And I learned to pay attention to those signs. When I had to cue her more than once, she wasn't ready for more. Again, start where your horse is at. Listen to your horse. She wasn't naughty or disobedient. She was just telling me she wasn't warmed up yet. I also noticed another tipping point in this response. If I would cue her after she warmed up sufficiently, she would go into a very active forward trot on cue. Or she would offer trot by herself. And she wasn't that forward horse before that, but just Kira offering trot, telling me she's ready for a trot now, was such a tipping point. When you want to train your horse at liberty, learn to listen to your horse and help him feel better by exercising him consistently. If you want to do that, I would like to invite you to join my Introduction at Liberty program using the HippoLogic rectangle. In 4 weeks, you will learn to communicate with your horse. You will start where your horse is at, how to make small steps toward a goal, exercising your horse so it will become fun and easy. Georgie, would you please share the link to exercise? If you follow that link, you can register there and you can also find out where the next program starts. Exercising your horse with the HippoLogic rectangle requires that you are already familiar with clicker training your horse. If your horse is not there yet, but you can't wait to start and you want to introduce your horse to clicker training and positive reinforcement, I have the resource for you. It is called the Confident Clicker Trainer course. It's a program that you can do at your own pace and you can find it at my website, clickertraining.ca. Let's go to the Q&A time. There's an advanced rectangle exercise. If you want to know what you can do in the advanced exercise, you can teach your horse how to bend, you can work on trot, on canter. It can help make your fat horse fit, and you can even do 2 horses at the same time. That's all very, very advanced stuff that I don't want to go into today, but let's go to the Q&A and see how I can help you get to the next step.